What's up, world? It's your boy, Coach EV, aka EV Geeker, and welcome to another episode of Talking Hoops in the Sip. That's right, Talking Hoops in the Sip, the girls edition, episode 4, 2024. Man, I'm excited about tonight's show. Man, we're gonna jump right in. Let me introduce the people that's on from St. Martin High School, right here down on the coast in the Gulf Coast. One of the top coaches in the state, holds a state championship. Uh, please welcome Coach Jason Kennedy. Well, Jay Kennedy. Or Coach J Rock.
Either way, man. Either way.
Also, we have from the GTA, young and gifted, my assistant coach, the director of YG AU. Please welcome Martin Sherrod, aka Coach Gino, one of the top trainers in the state. What up, Gino?
What's going on with you, EV? How you doing tonight, man?
I need more energy from you, man. I don't need that little soft, hey, like you just suave, chill in the mix, like you got Key Sweat going on in the background, dog. Come on, I need that Columbus crazy energy that you be doing on the front row when Columbus play.
You know,
also from the coast.
I went to church today, EV. I gotta be chill today, man. I went to church today. I had it.
Okay, Holy Ghost been dealing with you. I like that. I mean, the Holy Spirit deal with you. It'll chill you out. I got you. Also joining us on the coast, one of the directors, Mississippi All In, Community Saved, just a little bit of everything. My guy Gabe Barber in the building. What up, Gabe?
What's up, guys? What's up, y'all?
Gabe, what's up with the bow tie, dog? What we doing?
Man, it's been a long day, man. I went to church today. Got a good word. I just made it home not too long ago.
Okay, cool. We got everybody on the church and the word geek today. I'm with that. Y'all know that's my conversation. Yeah. It looked good. And also our northern our other director from there it is, the other guys. Here's our other guy from DC Bucks, Mississippi, all in northern director, all-time leading scorer at Hernando High School, the second best player on this panel. He know who he's behind. Let's give it up for my guy Cordarius Jones. What up, Cord? Can't hear you, dog. I mean, you got to get off that Cricket Wireless. I mean, we can't hear you. You got to get AT&T, Verizon, something like that. It's breaking up. Now you switched over to Metro phone. Can you get your Verizon phone?
That police scanner intercepting all that stuff, man. He got to get that scanner out the room.
Well, y'all heard that, boys. The last person we'll introduce is the guy, as they say, the elephant in the room from Mississippi Play Sports and Mississippi Bobcats, and also a director of Mississippi All In. Please welcome to the show, the elephant man, Eddie Easy One Young. What up, Eddie?
Somebody laugh at this dude, man. One of the worst things in the world is for somebody to try to be funny and laugh at themselves. Man, nobody want to hear all that foolishness, man. Hey, let's have a good show. I got my man Jason Kennedy front and center, brother. You know I'm just as excited as I can be. So, man, let's rock and roll. We ain't got time for all the antics, man. We got people watching us now. Let's go.
All right. Before we get going, we always want to take a minute to say shout out to Tatum and Wade Law Firm, located 124 East of Meat Street, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Tatum and Wade are real lawyers who get real results. I say if you want to get paid, then you need to go to Tatum and Wade. Appreciate him, Tunde Wade, for all the stuff that he does for our kids here in the state of Mississippi. Listen, If you would, I just need a favor. I need you guys that are. I know we're live on YouTube. We're live on Twitter. I just need you to give us a shout out in your comments and let us know that you guys are in the building right here. I see you on there, but if you would, just go ahead and say what's up. If you got any questions, any type of things you want to talk about today, let's make sure that we lock in on them. We're going to be talking about the Dandy Dozen. And we're going to talk about, performances. Jason's going to talk about the tournament he just had. Matter of fact, we're going to open up with him and talk about the tournament and some players down there who played well, and we'll just get to going. So, Coach, talk to us. You had your a tournament on I think it was yesterday, where we had, I know a bunch of colleges there, a bunch of teams from Alabama and the Gulf Coast was in. Talk to us about the teams. Go through each game. We got our guy, Coach Brandon Taylor. What up, baby? Hines, head women's basketball coach in the building. Rick Barber. My guy, JJ, Coach Johnny Dollars in the building. But Coach Kennedy, talk to us a little bit about, what happened on yesterday down on the coast.
Man, we had the third year of the Mississippi Girls Gulf Coast Hoops Fest. Great success yesterday. Saw a lot of college coaches in the gym. Had some really good players show out yesterday. Some really good ball games. Had a couple games go to overtime. You always love when you have that, except for when you're playing the last game like I was, and it goes a little long. But that's the only reason I didn't make it to church today, Evie. All right. So first game of the day was Gulfport and Davidson, and Davidson ended up winning that one. I think it was 57-40. They got a feisty little group, man. And of course, Gulfport is really, really young this year, but Coach Price has got them going in the right direction. Second game of the day was Moss Point and Gulf Shores, and that game went to overtime. Very good ball game. Moss Point has a kid, Jordan Ford, I believe is her name, and I think she may be a senior this year. She played really well yesterday. But Gulf Shores was too much. Their girl on the inside, Kiana Royal, is that how I say her name?
Yeah,
she played really well. She can step outside and shoot it. She goes down inside. She's a force. She got a bunch of and ones yesterday. Just a physical specimen. I love watching her play because she gives max effort. And that's what kind of got them over the top. I think the final of that one was 37-36. Very, very hard fought game. And that was in overtime as well. Got to see Meridian play McGill Tulane, a very good team out of Mobile. They're usually one of the top teams over there. And they ended up beating Meridian, I think, by 11. And their little zone they played a high 2-3. They were trapping everywhere and kind of gave Meridian some problems. They just weren't really able to knock down the shots. Really didn't have a whole lot of room to be able to knock down shots because they were trapping everywhere. But Meridian's got a young lady that I really love, and her name is slipping my mind right now.
Kamara, who you?
Yeah,
we know her name. We know her name.
She's a junior this year.
Yeah, Kamara Hughes.
Love watching that kid play too. She competes on every play. Next game we saw Daphne and Brandon play, and man, Brandon's got some talent, man. They got some players out there. Daphne had a little guard that was really hard to guard. You couldn't stay in front of her. She's very talented. I can't remember her name, but Brandon, I mean, that girl was just so shifty. But Aaliyah Bolden for Brandon, man, she was hot yesterday, man. Had her little floater game going, knocked down a couple of jumpers, and she was able to put them over the top. I think they ended up winning by 11 or 12 as well, but that ended up being a pretty good ball game too. And to me, the game of the day yesterday was Hancock and Booker T. Washington. Man, that game went back and forth all day long. Booker T. Washington had that 6'4" junior that was just really, really tough to handle. And then, of course, Hancock, Booker T's got a set of twins too that just, man, they just give you everything. They guard, play both ends of the floor really hard. And Hancock, of course, is Hancock. They do what they do, man. They're going to cut you to death. And the little point guard, Talena Bond, hit 2 big free throws to seal the victory, and they ended up winning by 3 yesterday. And I tell you something, man, Talena Bond is just a ball of energy. I love watching her compete. She competes on every possession. You never see her take a play off. I almost get like goosebumps. You know, my thing is compete, just compete every play. And I get goosebumps watching that kid play. There's not a ball on the floor that she don't think she can go get. So after that one, we got to see Neshoba Central and Hoover play. Hoover is the real deal. They're unbelievable. They just make the game look so easy. Got an 8th grader that can flat out go. I mean, hitting the Kobe fadeaway. She's cupping that ball, laying it in. About 5'11", 6 foot, can go. And then they had another junior on the inside, probably about 6'2", 6'3". She was dynamic as well. Everybody could play on that team. And Neshoba, of course, Neshoba does a really good job. They play really hard, play their style. They had a couple of kids go down yesterday, kind of early in the game, and I did not see them come back in. That was one reason I think the score was a little lopsided as well. I think it ended up 72-40. But when I say Hoover's the real deal, man, they are. And we capped it off at the end of the night. I don't think we started till about 8:30. Played Blunt out of Mobile. We ended up getting that win. We made it a little tougher on ourselves than we had to, but we ended up getting that win by about 7 or 8. But I had, of course, Colin Ward is the little engine that can, man. I think she's averaging about 18 points a game. She had 15 points yesterday and about 6-7 assists. I know what I'm gonna get out of her every night. But I had a young lady step up yesterday. She ended up with 18 points and 15 rebounds. Yvette Nathan, and she is just an athlete, man. She's all over the floor, and she has a nose for the ball. She just goes and finds it, and she was able to finish yesterday and help put us over the top. But it's fun watching those ones that don't normally give you those type of numbers step up and do it. And what's even better than that to me is the teammates, man, when they cheer those folks on. I'm a big fan of cheering for others. Let's clap for others until our time comes. Man, they did a great job yesterday at cheering that young lady on, and she just kind of kept it rolling throughout the day and ended up with a huge night, man. Gabe, you were there. If you wanted to touch on a couple of those kids, I know you spoke to a few of them yesterday.
I ain't speak to nobody. No, I'm just playing. But no, man, yeah, it was a lot of great games. Pretty much every kid that you named was remarkable. Of course, one of my favorites, I'm biased, was Talena. Seeing how she kind of stepped up, made big free throws, made big plays when it mattered, and beating a really good team, Booker T. Washington. That was probably my game of the night. The most impressive player outside of that guard from Daphne, who was very shifty, like you said, hard to guard. That 8th grader from Hoover, man, was phenomenal. I think the most exciting part about watching her is actually being close enough to hear her communicate on the floor. Mm-hmm. As an 8th grader, I know Evie loves them guards that can talk. Hearing her talk on the floor is the most attractive thing about her game. She even talked a little noise out there that kind of had me and some of the other coaches on the baseline like laughing our tails off just because she was just so emphatic about the game. We didn't know she was an 8th grader until halftime, coach. So, I mean, she was definitely a sight to see as well.
Well, I had quick technical difficulties. Sometimes you got that. So good job. I appreciate you guys carrying on like nothing happened. Sometimes we have when we bring Eddie on and him coming from the jungle, sometimes we have technical interference. And so sometimes you have, I think we just had, was that a time, it's feeding time, I know right now, Eddie, was that a time where it was like a mad rush of elephants running away from something at that time? Was that the reason why it flipped off? Anyway, all right.
Entertaining.
So, all right, listen. We're glad that you guys had a great. if you had to pick, Jason, one player out of everybody, if you just said out of those 8 days, eight, give me the best player who had the best overall game out of anybody, and then the best prospect that was in the gym.
I got Hope over here with me. She was at every game as well.
He gonna need some help with that one. That's a hard one. Yeah,
it really is.
I would say best prospect. I would say that 8th grader because she's right at 6 foot. She's already. I mean, she looked like she could be a junior or a senior in high school. So that's a high ceiling. She could definitely develop into SEC type guard. She keep growing throughout with her being in 8th grade. So I'd say probably top prospect. I'm going with her. Best overall player. I'm going with the Booker T. Washington bid.
Okay, cool. Okay. All right. So we got that's the 2 top players, and hopefully next year we got to get down. I got to get down to one of those. To your 4th annual. Maybe I'll try to. If we're not playing on that day, we'll try to get down, check it out, on the coast.
Hey, wait! I want to highlight too for Jason. I gotta throw Coach Hope in there too because I know she has some parts in it. The highlight of the day was the hospitality room, y'all. It was phenomenal. Hospitality room went crazy. Shout out to Coach Kennedy and St. Martin for taking good care of you, boy. I was full. I was able to get whatever I wanted, and y'all know I'm a picky eater. I don't eat a lot, so Coach Kennedy definitely threw down with that hospitality room.
Well, let's not move. Hey, let's not move fast from that because the hospitality room. If we don't talk about that a little bit, Eddie will get mad at me. So let's talk about what actually was there. What was in the hospitality room, because I remember coming to the JUCO Trail and Hope did have a legit hospitality room. I mean, it was special. So highlights of the hospitality room. What was your favorite? What was your favorite deal, Gabe? What was the best thing in the hospital? Was it the?
Well, y'all ain't gonna want to hear what my favorite deal was because I eat like a child. I told Coach, okay, I eat like a child, so y'all ain't gonna want to know all I had was some chicken tenders, but they was good. I had a lot of chicken tenders. It was really good.
Okay, man. Chicken tenders. Okay, we had some chicken tenders. We had some meatballs. Did we have meatballs?
They had some gumbo in there. Everybody was tearing.
Oh, you went with the gumbo. Okay.
Man, one of my football coaches, man, he's our defensive coordinator, Coach Woody. Man, he threw down with the gumbo. He's from South Louisiana, so he spiced it up real nice for us. And everybody that got one cup of gumbo, they went back and got 2 cups of gumbo. So
okay, cool. So,
and then we had some really good taco soup. Walk-ons did their thing, man. They gave us a bunch of appetizers. There was wings, Southwest egg rolls, like you name it, sliders, everything from walk-ons.
Okay, I got you. I like that. Okay, so we know, see, like that type of stuff right there is critical. That'll help. That can help bring a few more coaches down there. You got the right type of hospitality room. What you need and Hope need to be doing right now is going. When you leave here, go to your prayer closet and say, Lord, thank you. Say, I want you to repeat this prayer. Say, Lord, thank you that Eddie Young didn't show up. That's all you got to do because you might have run out. But anyway, let's move on. Hey, right now, let's go and talk about the list that I've been talking about, the Dandy Dozen list. Let me just go off and say, I'm going to throw some names out here that we're not going to talk about who should be replaced, but we want to talk about maybe a few names that could have been on it. I personally, since I've been in Mississippi, been back in Mississippi since 2016, I personally think this is the best list that they've had as far as getting it right since I've been here. I mean, there's some kids that could have been on it, yes, but I really believe every kid that was on it deserved it. So let's go over the list, and I know I'm missing some, so y'all help me. First, we have who I think is the #1 player in the 2025 class, committed to Austin P. Jay Rucker from Tupelo. This is her second time being on the list. No brainer. I definitely deserve 6-foot kid who had a Mississippi State offer, an Ole Miss offer, Memphis offer, ended up going to Austin P. No question, deserved. Next was Macy Pfeiffer.
She was on the 3 times, EV. Jay Ruck was on the 3.
Oh, Jay Rucker was 3 times. Okay, I didn't know that. Jay Ruck, just thank you for reminding me of that, Core. 3 times. Not many people that'll make the 3 times, and deservingly so. She should have been one state championship last year, looking to got the monkey on her back. Her and her other Dandy Dozen, Nadia Norfleet, also was on that list. She deserved to be on there. I think it was a no-brainer for her. Macy Pfeiffer, Miss Everything, Gatorade Player of the Year, volleyball, Miss Basketball and volleyball and basketball for her class from Ingomar, going to Middle Tennessee State. Great pickup for them. Great level for her. She deserved to be on it. Like I said, all the girls, in my opinion, deserve it. I'm just naming a few kids. Sanaya Cook, Miss Basketball from Boonville, signed with Northeast, had several D1 offers. She actually turned down Division I offers to go. Oh, she's going to ICC. Is that correct? Corey, did I get that? ICC or Northeast?
ICC.
Which one?
ICC.
ICC. She's going there. Right, ICC. Coach Porter and them did a great job in picking her up. Had a very good summer show. She could shoot the 3 ball during the summer. Big Z, Zariah Edwards. She's got some D1 interest as well. I'm sure, Hope is hoping that she gets somebody like her. Also, JoJo, Johanna Wilson. I think Sanaya Cook, this is her second year being on. Johanna Wilson, a.k.a. JoJo, this is her second year from Callaway. Just single-handedly, along with a few other players, along with her coach and father, just have turned Callaway around, deservingly so. Jakia Duckworth won a state championship with West Jones a couple of years ago. 5'9" kid, has some D1 interest. I know every JUCO in the state is on her as well. Then we have Caitlin Hall, 6'3" kid, to be honest with you, from Kahoma. Started out at Clarksville High, played at Kahoma, probably a kid that a lot of you may not know about, but she lives in a double-double. I mean, her house is a double-double. She just stays in double-doubles the whole time, and she has big time. She's really talented. Really, to be honest, she's going to go – I don't know where she's going to go. She's probably going to go JUCO, but the kid is Division I talent. Who are – I missed now who are the other dandies? Because I missed those other ones.
Walker from Laurel.
Okay, Walker.
Zanaya Johnson from Biloxi.
I don't know how I missed Zanaya Johnson. Zanaya Johnson from Biloxi is the best prospect in the state, regardless of class. She'll go, what school is she going to go to? Wherever she wants to go to. 6'5", just a WNBA body right now. She's she's the best prospect for me besides Madison Booker that I've seen since I've been back in Mississippi. She's just
and Fran Kelly. You forgot Fran Kelly, my bad.
I don't know how I forgot. That's okay. Yeah, I'm glad you just telling me as I go. Fran Kelly, who was my number 1 2026 player, Mississippi State offer, all different type of offers. Been recruited by a little bit everywhere, been all over the country. She's having the best season, probably scoring wise. I know since I've been here, she's there. I think Hernando's 8-2. She's 7-2. She scored 30 plus in 7 out of the 8 games. She's averaging 32 a game, second in the country in max preps. Just deservingly so. Kaylis Walker, as he mentioned, won a state championship with Laura Shamaya Morton from Canton. Is the other one who has several Power 5 offers. She is also living in a double-double world. We all living in a single world. She's living in a double-double world. Just phenomenal. So is that it? Did I miss anybody else? That's it, 12. So we got those 12. I think all of those 12s are deservingly. Let's talk about who you think could have been on there and that you think was a snub. Corey, we'll start with you. We'll start with you.
You said me, Evie?
Oh, yeah. Well, who was saying? Did somebody else say something?
I think Jason was trying to go. So.
Okay, go ahead, Jason.
I was just trying to jump in real quick. I'll tell you two that I've seen here lately, and I know sometimes being young can sway them to keep you off the list because they'll say, "Oh, well, they got another year. You know, they got a couple years to go." But two of the best young players that I've seen, Carly Robinson, Madison Central. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say take anybody off, but I tell you, that kid right there is special. Like she can do so much with the ball. You know, I've seen her on film. I've seen her one time in person, and she is worth the price of admission, I promise you. And another one, a young player, is down here at Harrison Central, and she is getting bucket after bucket after bucket and rebound after rebound after rebound, and that's Sanaya Murray at Harrison Central. Love watching that kid play. She's grown up a lot. I'm telling you, she's going to be there, and it'd be hard for me to keep her off that list. I'm not saying I take anybody else off, but that kid's special. Definitely a SEC type player to me.
That's a big statement coming from you, Jason Kenny. I mean, I definitely would agree with you. I think she's no question a Power 5 or Power 4 team right now player. She has the potential if she continues to, work at the level, 6'5", long, can handle a basketball for her size. I just saw recently she put up 31 and 18 in a 2-point game over Pascagoula. I mean, 31 of the 48 points. That's a lot. It's her time to shine. A lot of, Harrison Central's had a lot of great talent over the years, and a lot of those kids have left, and now it's Sanaya Murray's turn. So those are two big names. Carly Robinson, no question. No, I don't like Carly Robinson. I absolutely love her. Think she's phenomenal. And you're right. Those are kids that could have definitely been on there. Anybody else? Names that could have been there that didn't make it.
Carly Brock.
Carly Brock from Boonville. I mean,
Belmont.
Carly Brock. I think Belmont. I'm sorry. She should have been on there. I don't know, man. It sounds like I'm hearing myself. Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
That was your cue to get on to me about the jungle, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk real fast. Listen, I agree with you, Jason. Carly Robinson, like you said, it's one of those things who you take off, but man, my God, she's been doing it since 7th grade. She was one of the kids, as Evie said earlier. It's very rare that you see a 3-time dandy like Jade Rucker. I think Taylor Felton was a 3-time dandy. But we were kind of thinking she might be a 4-time dandy. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people forget that she's just 9th grade. The kid had 3 more years of high school basketball after this year. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And when you see her, the one thing that you like about her is that she's always adding to her game. She's always getting better. Sanaya Murray, y'all know how partial I am to her. I mean, how dear she is to my heart. She is, I think, in 16 years of me coaching, and I said this a couple of years ago, she's got a chance to be the best prospect that I've ever had in my program. And she can be a pro when she puts it all together. And like you said, Jason, she's got a whole nother, what makes Sanaya Murray so special is she's got a whole nother ceiling. She hadn't even reached her potential yet, like not even close to her potential. The great Muriel Page said, WNBA lottery pick, played several years in the pros, said that she was twice as good as she was when she saw her last year. And she went on just to have, be actually a legend, one top 5 players to ever come out of the state. But Carly Brock, man, just her body of work, you just can't take away what she's done. She's a state champion. She's done it in the high school scene. She's done it on the summer circuit. She plays with so much passion. With this being her senior year, I really feel bad for her because I felt like of all the kids, like you said, the young Murray will get it, Carly Robinson will get it. Unfortunately, Carly Brock won't get that opportunity. So she's one that I think definitely should have been on there. I know probably you know how they used to do back in the day, Jason Kennan, they would do the just miss. I would probably have had honorable mention just missed Kylie Trust from the Neshoba Central, who's had a really good year. She's obviously was a state champion last year. I know that has a lot of weight to it. Also, just a phenomenal player, phenomenal shooter, knows how to play the game. One of the best conditioned athletes in the world. I think is another kid that should have garnered some attention. But beyond that, I think the list was really good. I think we can all agree that they did a phenomenal job, and I think that they're pretty close to being as accurate as possible. Like you said, the hard part is if you put those kids in, then who you take out. And then once you do that, then now the barbershop talk begins and debate. It's tomatoes, really, to be honest with you. So, but I think we might have lost EV for technical difficulties. Q, Gino, Gabe, you guys got anybody that I think that should have been deserving to be on that list? Lost EV for technical difficulties.
Well, let me I'll tell you this. I'm back. I don't know what's going on, technical difficulties, but I think another anybody else? I have another one just in case if somebody else doesn't have anybody. I have one that just you can argue definitely shouldn't have on there. Anybody else? They're probably going to say who I'm going to say.
Well, I don't know. They're a younger player, but I feel like they should have went ahead and just threw Meg on there. Meg Moore.
Absolutely. Meg Moore, in my opinion, when we look at prospects in the state of Mississippi, I think Zanaya Johnson is, I would say number one. I'm talking about overall, regardless of class. She would be number one. And then I would probably say Meg Moore and Sanaya Murray would be my number two, number three as far as prospects. Meg Moore is a star, and she's going to be, she already has a Mississippi State offer. She won a state championship at Tishmingo last year. She put up 30 on Tupelo last year as an 8th grader. She could have easily been, along with Carly Robinson, a 4-time dandy. There's no question about that. Those are, our future is really bright in the state when you look at the future of getting to see Meg Moore and Carly Robinson play for another 4 years. That's exciting for our state. You're talking about two young ladies who can go anywhere in the country and perform well. And so Carly Robinson is teetering. I mean, she is right on the cusp of being a Power 5 kid. And it's really, to be honest, it's trending that way. I don't know if you can bet against the kid because every time I see her, she's gotten better. Every time I see her. But Meg Moore is one. Anybody else that you could say maybe could have, but didn't make it this time? Cord, you got anybody? Yay.
No. Carly Brock is the one for me.
I said mine.
Okay.
I don't think anybody else. I mean, no.
Well,
Y'all said all of them.
Okay, let's just let's take, as they say on TV, a too early of a look. Who's gonna, obviously we've already named a couple. Can we name some people we haven't named that we can look and say a future dandy? Like this person will be on. Look ahead to next year.
Jayla Carey.
Jayla Carey of Biloxi. Okay.
Jada Gay from Starkville.
Jada Gay from Starkville. Okay. I love both of those.
Olivia Smith. I think is going to make it next year. Ava Young from Ridgeland will be on there next year.
Mm-hmm.
Corey, you just said Jada Gay, right? Jada Gay will be. We talked about Carly and obviously Coach just brought up a great point on Meg Moore, who I think is a future pro.
I think they might throw
Um,
Brown from Starville on there. She might be deserving
Who?
of it. She had a good
True,
year.
true.
Oh yeah, Zaria
True.
Brown. Yeah,
Yeah.
Zaria
Kylie
Brown.
Trust.
Cali Trust. You could maybe consider, depending on if they can get some wins. I don't know, but Harley Fortenberry is putting up some really unbelievable numbers in Tyler Town. She might be a kid that could. Her numbers are going to say so. Now I don't know about the team and how far they can go to kind of help bolster her resume a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But she's definitely going to have the numbers to be on there.
Madison Jones.
Yeah, Madison Jones.
Madison Jones. There you go. Madison Jones for sure. No doubt.
Hey, I might get
Yeah.
shot if I don't say this name.
Who that?
My kinfolk.
Oh, yeah. Sydney Barber.
Sydney Barber's putting up great numbers. You know, no question.
Let me say this too. Hey, shut up. Let me talk about Sydney for a second. Sydney Barber is the all-time leading scorer. Shout out to her, all-time leading scorer in school history at West Harrison, and she's done it as a junior. I'm gonna say that again. The all-time leading scorer as a junior. And just think about it. She did that before Christmas. This kid has a whole nother second half to her season as a junior, and then a whole nother senior campaign. A multiple sport athlete who's got multiple track scholarships, Division I track scholarships, a super athlete, just can find a way to score the basketball. She rebounds like heck, can run the floor. She's a kid that I think. Go ahead. What you finna say, Cole?
I said, hold on, Eddie. Run that list down again that you named, because I think somebody on here confused or something.
Yeah, he says.
I don't know who you
Yeah,
missed. He must get confused.
Me too,
I
Cord.
want to know who you say, because you confused, you dude. You confused, because them kids are top kids.
Caleb, I would like to know. You said, "Are we?" You know, because I'm sorry, Eddie. We just had to jump in there because we have some comments and we want to.
I like a little spicy too.
This question, Caleb Ryan says, according to what, are you guys watching these kids? And the answer would be yes, because I know I have, and I don't think, I don't have a problem with saying this. I know that I've seen more kids than anybody on this panel, and I know I've seen more than you, Caleb. So I'm just trying to figure out who did we miss. And I mean it, Caleb, you're my guy. I mean that in every respectful way. Who did we miss? Because I'd like to know that, because if we miss, now there are some kids, obviously we haven't seen all the kids. There are kids hidden that we haven't seen. There's no question about that. But as far as the kids that are elite and the kids that, that we would say deserve. Now I'll tell you a kid who could have been on there that we did not name. That is a really good player. I think she's a Division I talent. And I think she already has a Division II offer, and that's Akemi Johnson. Mm-hmm. Akemi Johnson from Yazoo City is really, really good. She's you can put her in the same breath as Nadia, Norfleet, JoJo, Carly Brock. She already has a Delta State offer. To me, Mississippi Valley should be all over. She's a
I agree. I agree. Ain't no doubt. She's good. She's good. I tell you another one, EV, that, and again, a lot of these kids, well, let me just say this. Okay. Araya Gray should have a Division I offer, period.
No question. No question.
Caitlin Hall should have a Division I offer, period. There is no reason why Caitlin Hall's a 6'3", 6'4" post player who can shoot the basketball, an excellent free throw shooter, played on the EYBL circuit, got seen by every Division I college coach in the country, and she doesn't have one Division I offer. Araya Grace, been on the Nike EYBL circuit for 3 years, has played in front of numerous of college coaches and don't have one Division I offer. I rest my case, man. I ain't even finna go into that. Let me go back to Caleb. Let's get back to Caleb. Caleb need to give us, he's saying who we watch. We need to know who we miss, because the 15 to 20 kids that we've mentioned tonight are the kids that's on these are no-brainer kids.
Yeah, no burners. No
You could
burners.
argue Graceland Carmichael, who I love as a kid as we project for next year. She's got a great body of work. She's the only 8th grader to ever start for Jan at Jackson Academy. She's going to win a state championship with Laura probably this year. I mean, Laura's got a chance if they can put it together and win a state championship this year and next year. Excellent soccer player. You could argue, you could debate her on the list, but I'm trying to figure out who in the world are we missing
That's why
based
I
on the
said run
kids that
it
we
down again because we just named some superstar kids. Like we just named some phenomenal kids. And I just know,
give
and I
us,
know it's
and
kids I would
then
love
just
to
give
put
us
on
two.
there.
Hold on, Court. Caleb, give us 2 names. We don't need, but just give us 2 elite kids, and then we'll debate them. Because I'm trying to figure out who in the world we'll have missed. That's deserving of this type of talk. We're not talking about the North-South game. We're not talking about the North-South game. We're talking about the top 12 kids, regardless of class, in the state of Mississippi. And every last one of these kids that we're talking about at some level, Araya Grace and some of these other kids that didn't make it, and some of the kids that are on the list had Division I offers. So if they're not getting the Division I offers of interest, then they shouldn't be considered for this prestige list or all state, that type of thing. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, I think that I'm just trying to think. I think Sydney Barber definitely, her body of work is going to allow her the opportunity to garner some attention for sure. And who else are we missing in that 26 class? It seems like we're missing somebody else in the 26 class.
I'm gonna give y'all 2, Eddie. I'm gonna give y'all 2 that I think, like we were talking about, future dandies. Morton, Shamira from Canton.
She
Is that right?
Shamar,
was a dandy.
yeah.
Well, she on it this year. So
Oh, she on there this year. Okay.
yeah, she on.
She's,
I'll
man,
tell you, your baby Jason, that's hurt. If she don't get hurt, Khalil Lowry.
that's what
Yeah.
I
But
was
go
gonna
ahead. I
say.
think you're going to say somebody else. Yeah.
That was who I was gonna say. I said, it's gonna hurt her being hurt all year, for next year. But man, she's been working. She's already her rehab is ahead of schedule. She's helping me coach on the sideline. Her basketball IQ is through the roof. And if they did the dandy a little bit later next year, I think she would be on it because she's very special. But I know the type of kid she is, and she'll just let that add a little fuel to her fire, and I'm okay with that.
Well, I
For
sent
sure.
out an email. I sent out a text to because I know Caleb, and sent an email. And listen, those of you who are watching, if you ever want to come on the show, send me your email. Hit me on Twitter. If you have my number, hit me, and we'll try to get you in. I mean, we have no problem with bringing in guests and stuff. Eddie, what was something we were talking about today?
Can I say something? I don't know if he on, but I don't know the dude that well, but he got a daughter, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. His daughter must need to make then. Okay.
No,
Is it
no,
when the girl?
his daughter's really good. Jaden, her name is Jaden, plays at JA.
No, I'm
Really
not saying that, but maybe that's a kid he's saying we miss. You get a little biased.
No, I don't think Caleb is saying that.
Okay.
But just to mention, since you mentioned it, the daughter's really good. She's a good player at JA. She starts for Jan. Does a good job, runs her team. She's a 2026 kid. She's got a chance to be a next level player as well. This is the year. This has kind of been her coming out year. Probably she was a part-time starter last year, and she's having a chance to get.
Jaden can play, man. Yeah, she tough, hard nosed, go defend. Jaden go defend her butt off. She's a kid that's improving. I hadn't had a chance to see her this year, but she's always just been a kid that plays with a lot of passion. She's tenacious. She's a really good high school basketball player for sure, no doubt.
Yeah.
Eddie,
what were we talking about?
Caleb had
Huh?
I was saying, is it more kind of like private school girls y'all think should be a dandy?
What was that now?
That was he said private school, but private schools I don't think private. Do private schools make Dandy, Eddie?
Yeah, they can. They have before.
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah. Araya Grace, you mentioned that from Lamar Christian. There's no question that Araya Grace is definitely. I didn't. You know what? I didn't realize that. I didn't know Josh Hubbard made Dandy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the private school can't play in the Mississippi Alabama game, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Araya Grace.
they can make the Dandy Dozen.
Yeah, she's definitely a snub. Then. Yeah, I didn't realize. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, she's definitely somebody. I think she's the best player in.
Hey, these kids need to stay their bus in state for people that's gonna really push them and make sure that they get to the next level instead of running out of state and not getting what they deserve. There are some out of state programs where kids have been exalted and they've got what they deserve, but there's a couple of out of state AAU programs. These kids leave and take their bus out of the state of Mississippi, and they're deserving of AAU offers. I mean, deserving of scholarship offers and opportunities. And I mean, it's just consistent that they're not getting it. And we seeing it year in and year out. Man, I'm off my soapbox, man. Go ahead. You were asking me, Evie, about what we talked about earlier today, and the comment was made about the one that you of is
No, what was the conversation me and you were having earlier about? It's a statement.
What'd you say?
What was the statement that me and you were talking about earlier? And it's a statement that everybody makes a lot of times. And I said, man, I'm going to talk about that. We got to stop. What was that?
Right. Yeah. It's the comment that kids come up to the coaches and say, hey, coach, I didn't play as well as I need to play because I was afraid you was going to pull me out the game, or if I make a mistake, I'm afraid to make a mistake. You talking about that?
That's it. Now, there it is. Let's talk about that. That is a statement that kids make and parents make well, I was afraid to make a mistake. Well, let me just talk about me as a coach. And Jason, I want you to chime in. Me as a college coach, and Jason, you can chime in as a high school coach, and anybody else chime in as coach. Missing a shot is not making a mistake. Missing a shot, let me say that again. Missing a shot is not making a mistake. Some turnovers are not like a mistake per se. My challenge is, here's my challenge with players. I'm focused in on how many mental mistakes are you going to make at a time? How many times I've told you to do this and you don't do this? Shooting, the physical side of it, we can get over. And matter of fact, if you score at a high enough level, you can make more mental mistakes because you can put my ball in the hole. If you can't put that ball in the hole, your margin of error shrinks. And I think we have to understand that. So we got to stop this narrative of, man, well, coach got me afraid to make a mistake. No, I have not got in your body and said, you better turn this ball over, or you missed this shot. I'm going to do. No, you have to figure this thing out. You got to be able to get in the gym, knock down shots. What's your thoughts, coach? I mean, because I've heard that a lot recently. And I'm just, this generation, and I'm saying, and some of these guys on here fall in this 13 to 39. That's what I consider this generation. So we already got some of y'all a little older, so don't be offended. But everybody's making excuses. They always making, it's like an excuse generation. Tell me your thoughts, Coach Kennedy.
Man, I'll tell you, I'm just like you are on this, man. I'm not worried about a mistake so much as I'm worried about your effort. You know, I'll take you out for effort before I take you out for a mistake. Now, if we turn that ball over and we don't hustle back, you got to come out. You know, you're giving up in the moment, and I got to get you out and teach you a lesson and show you, we're going to play with max effort the entire ball game. That's just what I expect of you. But I tell my kids all the time, there's never been a perfect game of basketball played, and there never will be a perfect game of basketball played. If you go out there trying to be perfect, You're not going to leave it all on the floor. You're not going to give it everything you got. And all I'm asking you is to give me your best. Give me everything you got. Like, and I have a rule with my kids, and it works out really well for us. If you sub yourself out of the game, and this is the signal we give, Coach, I'm tired. Give me a break. If you sub yourself out of the game, you can go sub yourself back in whenever you want to. You walk back up to that table and say, Coach, I'm ready to go. Who do you want me to get? Now, if I got to sub you out, it's because effort. It's not because of a mistake. It's because of your effort doesn't look like I want it. Then I get to choose when you go back in, and you might sit over there for a little while.
That's great, Coach. That's a universal thing. I love that. When you're tired, just or some people pull a jersey. Just pull this. You got this. Some people may do this. Corey, Gabe, what's your thoughts on the making piece?
Okay, I didn't hear your question, even.
Yeah, he was breaking up.
I said, what's your thoughts on the making mistakes? You know, like kids that always talk about, man, I'm afraid, you know, if I make a mistake, I'm coming out. I'm afraid to make a mistake. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, if you have to, like y'all said, if you out there giving max effort, like you just playing hard, you might be missing shots, you might blow a couple layups. But as long as you giving that effort, you done got a couple second chance balls. Like, how can I take you out and you giving me them attempts you playing so hard? So I don't see it as mistakes when, especially the shooting and stuff like that. You know how I am with that, EV. So I don't understand that one, but I done heard kids say that before. So I think it's just the pressure when you do miss a shot. You got so much pressure on you, then you do go down there and turn over the ball 2 or 3 times. Now you're not giving effort. So now you loafing. Now you really got bad body language on yourself. So the coach automatically gonna take you out.
Anybody else want to touch that?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what's said. Y'all know my style of coaching is that I don't feel like I've ever really just had that problem with kids feeling that way. I like to definitely hone in on like what's considered a mistake when you're talking about basketball. Turnovers happen, missed shots happen, fouls happen. So I don't really see those type of things as being labeled as mistakes, you know, because it comes with the game. And when they understand that, it keeps them kind of encouraged to continue to play rather than, you know, dreading on that one moment. So I just tell them, you know, it's a part of the game. Just don't try to make that same situation happen twice.
There's been instances I take a kid out. I'm like, oh, it's okay. You good. Get yourself together. Like, you know, shake it off or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping them encouraged. So, you know, even if they did, in my head, they're like, man, they blew my game, but still trying to keep them encouraged.
Well, I tap in with being a younger coach. You know, I'm 31, so you know a lot of the kids they feel like we the same. So a lot of kids wanna know why they don't play as much, or I need to be in for this, or they point the finger and say, you know, what this kid doing it. So I be still try to, you know, get the girls to understand that even though, you know, I ain't really tripping on nobody make a mistake, but also when you do make a mistake, take accountability for it, you know, because at the same time, I still try to, you know, teach the girl, you know, life lesson, like you're going to make mistakes in life, but you still got to be able to hold yourself accountable for it, to learn from that. So that's the angle I try to come at, you know, for looking at it like that.
Well, I know one thing. That's something that Eddie. Did you want to add anything to that?
No, y'all go ahead, brother.
Okay. Q, did you want to add anything to it?
Yeah. For me, a lot of times, not for me, just watching some of these high school games. Not per se saying the kids like scared to make a mistake. Sometimes I do think like the coaches are overcoaching and not giving some of the players, you know, a chance to, you know, show their game. You know, some of these coaches so caught up in the system that they run that, you know, it kind of minimizes the player talent. And so, you know, it is a contentious point between that coach and that player because that player probably feel like they can do more and they've been minimized. And so I think like we gotta, you know, kind of innovate with the coaches, man, and let some of these girls, you know, showcase what they can really do.
Let them play, man. Let them play. I agree.
Hey man, let me say
I
this
got a
too.
question for the. Okay, go ahead.
No, man. Hey, you just brought up a great time. The show might go longer than what it's supposed to be based on. Go ahead, Cole, because you just brought up some. Oh my lord, I want to talk about that. Go ahead, Cole.
I wanted to ask the, you know what I'm saying, the experienced coaches like Jason Kennedy, EV. Okay, is it, let's just be honest. Is some coaches in this state and in this country, they don't y'all feel they just can't coach the special kids? They're just not them. They just can't coach
Absolutely.
them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, they can. We dealing with that right now. We go.
Uh,
Is that a thing, like Jason? Is that a thing? Because especially in high school, I see a lot of micromanaging, like with good kids, like kids that you
mhm.
want to put up the ball up
Yeah,
more than others. Like why? So why do coaches believe? Why do coaches believe they have to micromanage special kids like that?
I think sometimes it's, and I don't want to get myself in trouble saying too much, but I think sometimes it might be about the control. They feel like they have to have total control. Um, and I'll be honest with you, I like coaching against those guys because you can tell what's coming. You know, the ones that turn those kids loose and say, look, okay, she can go get a bucket. I might be running a play, but I know at any point in that play that she decides she wants to dart down through there and get a bucket, she can go get a bucket. And you got to be mindful of that as a coach, to where somebody's just running a set every trip down and they running the same set. Man, I can jump those passes. I can disrupt you. Just like I was talking about Colin Ward earlier. I have sets that we run. We have a few sets that we run. I don't overdo it with sets now, but we have a few sets that we run. But Colin knows if she sees a seam right there, she knows she got the freedom to go take that seam. She gets more buckets like that than she does within the frame of the offense. And I'm okay with that. I love that. I love the ability to go make a play because I'm all about teaching my kids how to play the game, not teaching them plays.
So do you think? Now, I'm sorry. I know Eddie, you had a question too. I just want to get this one more off, and I'm done. Do you think coaches, and I'm speaking on a high school level really because I see it so much. Do you think coaches get caught up in where they want their players to get all the accolades, but they put them in such a strenuous system that you can barely evaluate some of these kids?
I've seen that. I've seen
Yeah.
that. I just think, man, I'm gonna have to be over here. I'm gonna have to be over here like this during this thing. I've seen it. I've seen what you're talking about, but it's
Yeah.
just I don't want to say too much.
I got you. I got you. Go ahead, Eddie, because Evie done jumped off anyway. So.
Let me say what Jason Kennedy wanted to say.
Help me out here.
Hey, listen, I've watched Jason over the years, and there's some people who can coach superstar players, and then there's some people who can't coach quote unquote superstar players because they do, as Coach just said, minimize their talent. They try to find that balance to where they don't want the kid to think that they're more or bigger than the game. And I just think, like, as I watch Jason, I'll just point to him. The elite kids that he's coached, he's built that relationship with them where he can get onto them, right? He can get onto that star player. He can challenge that star player. Um, the star player has to buy into you too. And so a lot of these coaches, I think, have esteem, I won't say low self-esteem issues, but they have, what do you call it? I just think that they feel like they have to put that player in the bubble, not allow them to get too many accolades. And I think to get the best out of your team. I mean, let's look at what Fran Kelly is doing. Fran Kelly coach wants her to get 60 points a game, right?
30 shots.
And I think that 30 shots. And I mean, if she ain't got the most freedom of any kid in the state right now. And when you talk about running plays, let's think about this. Every trip down the floor, if a team is in a man defense, you got a guard like her, a guard like Carly Robinson. You do not have to call a play. They're going to get you we call plays as coaches to get what? High percentage shots. If you're playing man, those kids, I mean, they're going to beat their man 9 times out of 10. They're gonna get you. They're gonna make everybody around them better. They're gonna draw the attention of the other defenders. So why in the hell are you calling a play every trip down the floor? Especially on a high school.
Let me say this. Because and it's great that we got a high school coach on here so he can kind of give more insight on this. You know, I oftentimes tell kids, and I have to use reverse psychology on them sometimes to kind of get them to understand the point. I oftentimes tell kids that plays are designed for kids who can't score. Now, obviously, we do know that almost every team in the country runs plays, right? I can tell you right now from watching Jason Kennedy, who, let me just say this, he came down Little Coast, won a district championship in one of the toughest districts in the state in 2 years. In 2 years, he's done that. To say that, I say that, you know, players are designed for players who can't score. Now, I know that's not necessarily true, but I tell the players that, and they believe it. But if you have a kid, Coach Kennedy, who can score whenever they want, do you still feel obligated to call a set, even though you can trust that this kid is about? If you had Kevin Durant on your team, are you?
Man, I'm so sick of these 25 and 36, 19 to 11 damn basketball games with these coaches. I mean, I'm gonna say what you want to say, Jason Kelly. I'm sick of it. Like, I mean, nobody wants to come and watch that. It's bad basketball. You're sitting in the 2-3 zone. You're playing scary ball. I mean, I don't understand it.
And then
Like,
another thing, Eddie, I don't understand, and maybe Jason, you can give me some insight on what is the mindset of coaches that don't want to put their stats on max preps and all this stuff, or just highlight kids. I understand you don't want the kid to feel like they're bigger than others, but if I'm looking for a kid and I can't see how much they average a game, like what does that matter? We know like you can still recruit this team, like you still can scout this team. So what do stats really gonna mean if I got film on 3 games of film on y'all anyway?
The most excuse you hear about that is I don't want people to be able to scout me. Man, we can get film. I can get film on you at any moment. I don't even use max preps to scout you, to be honest with you. But
that don't make sense.
To me, the more stats you put in, to me, that's an act that's for the kids. You know, you need to put that in there because everybody can start seeing, you know, and then Max Preps does a little thing where they'll have the leading score, the leading rebound. And kids like to see themselves up there, man. If I'm playing for somebody that's never inputting a stat, and I'm just like, man, why is this kid up there? I'm averaging more rebounds than they are. My name ain't on there. It gives me a little bit of, I ain't gonna say animosity, but it kind of makes me feel a little bit, you know, sort of a way about it. But I just, I believe in posting your kids, man. That's why we're here.
Yeah, I just believe accolades and offers and bringing college coaches in your gym, that makes your program look good too. So by not highlighting the kids, it's kind of like some dinosaur stuff because, you know, you want all that attention on your program. You have to manage it a little bit better. I mean, it's the day and age where kids on social media and they seeing other things going on, and I mean, you just got to kind of not pacify it, but in the kind of way you do, you know. So I just don't get it.
It worked both ways, Court. You know, Jason Kennedy is one of the high school coaches who he's gonna be on Twitter. He's gonna be active on Twitter. He's one of the few high school coaches that's gonna beat the AAU coaches to the college coaches. I'm gonna say that again. Jason Kennedy is one of the few high school coaches that's gonna beat us AAU coaches to the college coaches. All right. And so the thing about it is, like, you got to market social media, Facebook. Like, some of these people are in a stone age, and they're not. The kids are getting no publicity at all, none whatsoever. And so I think that's really, really bad for business. I mean, it takes you a second to upload your rosters. I had a coach tell me, you know, that they don't want a kid to average 20 points a game. If that ain't the most oxymoron type of I mean, why wouldn't you want a kid? And the philosophy was, I'd rather have 4 kids average 10 points than to have 2 kids average 20 points a game. When the math is still the math.
Somebody averaging the 20, still in the
the math is the same. Like, so it's just, some of the philosophies behind some of the coaches, and there's some great coaches. I mean, I always say Coach Brown at Northwest Rankin, when she was at Madison Central, I mean, she did an absolute remarkable job promoting her kids, making sure. I don't know why the hell they got rid of her. I think that's the dumbest shit I ever seen before in my life. Because let me tell you what she did. The lady took Carly Robinson as a 7th grader and put that kid out there. That kid, because let's just be honest, Jason and Gabe, how many coaches would have taken a kid that's 12 years old in a really good district now? She played in a good district. Give her the keys to the city and say, hey, look, go be great and go do something that nobody, because we have never seen a 7th grade kid come into 6A. We've seen 7th graders. What's the kid that played? I'm trying to think of her name. Jason, know I'm talking about. The
Macy
kid she went
Pfeiffer came in
in
the 1A. Macy Pfeiffer.
but that's 1A. Not to take anything from Macy. That's 1A. But this kid did it in 6A, which is now 7A. So shout out to Coach Brown for doing it. She like that. That's trailblazer, trend setting type of stuff. I don't know why the hell they got rid of her. I mean, let me just say.
Hey, real quick, Coach. I want to throw this out there for any players right now. If you a senior, that class 2025, you unsatisfied, your coach ain't letting you shoot whatever shot you want to shoot, holler at Coach EV. EV gonna let you shoot whatever shot that you want to shoot. All right, so if you want to get your shot off, if you ain't satisfied with your shot attempts, go holler at Coach EV. He gonna let you shoot whatever. Listen to me, whatever shot you want.
Send Coach Gino that film, man. Send Coach Gino that film. He gonna pass it on.
Let me. I do want to. Thank you, Gabe, for the plug, but I do want to. Let me address that though. I will say this: coaching on the college level, on the girls' college level, and boys' college level, there's a difference. There are more guys that, to be honest with you, there are more guys that fit the way I play than girls. And what I mean by that is my style is really, and Coach Gino will tell you this, he coaches with me. My style is really unique in the sense of, I see you down there, Jason, where I really believe for real in you can shoot the first open shot. And so what is the first open shot? A kid asked me, what's a good shot? I said, you shoot the very first good shot. And one of the kids asked me, Coach, what is a good shot to you? The first open shot that you can make. So that means for me, if it's here's the thing. This is how unique I am in this regard. Let's say a kid who can shoot the basketballs, hit 3 threes in a row or 2 threes in a row, and they have a 1-on-0 break and they pull up for a 3 and shoot it. 1-on-0. I'm not tripping because they're warm. Go ahead and shoot that. Now, most people will be like, they tripping. I've had kids do that. And I know that sounds dumb because they should have just taken a layup. But that's kind of my mindset. But what I realized, though, is this. At this level, and even when we talk about allowing, and I guess I'm defending a little bit because I've been on that side too, where there are controlling coaches. But some kids, to be honest with you, and especially girls, especially young ladies, you have to tell them a lot of times where to go. When I was at Mississippi Valley, this is what I used to tell them. I would tell them, we're running play A, but if B works, go ahead and do B. I played basketball, so I would tell them, go make a basketball play. And to be honest with you, out of 15 girls, and I would gather this at any level, Mississippi State, Duke, South Carolina, anywhere you want to go, I can pretty much guarantee you that a lot of those kids, maybe at the higher levels, I wouldn't say it. I would probably go a little different on the higher levels. But on the lower levels, lower Division I levels, lower and below, everybody doesn't understand what a basketball play is. You have to break. They don't know what that is. They don't know how to make a variation of something when something is thrown out. Perfect example. We run, and it's no secret, I run a high ball screen. Well, if I don't teach every aspect, because this has happened to me, it's happening to me now, of what happens when someone traps you, what happens when you switched off to the big. I haven't had a kid yet that knows, oh, I got a big. Hey, clear out. She can't guard me because I got a slower person on me. Nobody has done that yet. And so on the girl side is a little different than the boys. You on the boys side, you got more yah. They just naturally, they play more basketball, they watch more basketball, and they just naturally do things. On the girl side, you do have to teach a little bit more, in my opinion. Just from I'm relearning that right now. Like it's they don't have, if you don't have something, you almost have to Nintendo. Well, y'all, I don't know what y'all call it now. I used to call it Nintendo them all the way through because they just don't know what to do. That's part of my argument. I'm facing that right now. I don't know about you, Jason, but I'm really dealing with that.
We have some. I run the dribble drive a lot, and we have some rules with ours. You know, I don't like to come down and run a set. Gabe's seen us play a couple times, and you know we space the floor out, and I let Kylan go to work a lot, and then she starts the offense. All it starts with is just beating that first defender, and then that starts the motion. But you'll see my kids now, man. We've done it enough. And it's so funny to watch people and hear other people. You'll hear people in the stands. You'll hear opposing coaches. We'll find the weak link on the other team, whoever the one that we feel like is the slowest or they can't guard, and we'll bring them to the top, and we'll initiate the offense by taking them off the bounce. And then you hear people saying, that's so mean. You know what? That's basketball. Like we trying to get into the teeth of the defense. And I tell my kids, like, if we get a paint touch off the drive and we get a kick out, there's only two things you can do with that. I don't want you driving it right back into the paint because that's where the defense is. They've already rotated there. You either shoot it or swing it. And that's the rules that we have. Off that swing, you can drive it again, you know, or we're going to try to knock it down. But I'm like you. I want to get a quick shot. You know, I want to take the best available early. That's why one reason I think we need a shot clock here in Mississippi is I can't get nobody to play me man. You know, they'll play it for a little bit and then they'll jump in the zone and stand there. And then I mean, Gabe watched us. We had to hold the ball a little bit last night because I hate, you know, just watching people stand there. Like, come guard somebody, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, I want to touch on you know, what EV was talking about as far as like the kids. Basically, what he's saying in a roundabout way is that a lot of these kids' IQ isn't where they should be. I've talked with Hope about this before, even at the college level. A lot of these kids get to college and they don't even know their footwork is bad. They don't even know how to triple threat properly. And here's the reason why. Instead of them running into the gym to go train with people like Gino, they run to their cell phones as soon as the damn game is over. And that's one of the reasons why they don't have that desire to want to get better. It's very few kids in the state. And the kids that you see that are excelling is because they are putting in the extra work. But these kids don't want to work. They don't want to put in the extra time. You got to hold their hand. You got to force them to want to be better. They're just okay with being complacent. But if they ran to them if they run into the gym to train with some of the people that are training the right way versus running to their cell phones, I think that you see a better display of basketball, because I'll say this, from a skill set standpoint, we're trying to catch up with the rest of the world because we are behind as a state in terms of fundamental basketball. We're just behind. Most rosters got 15 players. On any given night, you might see 2 or 3 players on those teams, maybe, that really understand how to play basketball. And that's an unfortunate thing. It doesn't have anything to do with us as coaches. That's not a knock on the high school coaches. That's not their fault. That's these kids. These kids, and they got so many distractions now, but they don't watch the game. They do not. They'll watch UConn when they play LSU, and that's the only game they watch. Like, there is no way that you're going to be able to understand how to play basketball. We all learned how to play the game by watching the game. Me and Evie was talking earlier about, growing up, like, do y'all all ever remember, like, somebody like Gino, these guys that are training, got all of this equipment, cones. Man, we didn't have any of that growing up. The facilities that they have, state-of-the-art facilities. I got keys to a 5-court, 60,000 square foot facility I can open any day of the week and go and get shots up. And you know how many times I've offered that to kids and how many kids have actually called and taken advantage of that? And I thank God, because a lot of nights I may not even want to go open a gym, but I don't get calls from these kids to go want to put up extra shots. And I got one 7th grader, Jason, her dad has called me several times about opening a gym. But a lot of these kids don't want to get better. They really, really do not care. They want to run to that cell phone and see how many messages they've missed, how many likes they got, how many new followers they have. And that's what they're more concerned about.
And you know what you'll hear more than anything, and I don't know if y'all have heard this too, when things ain't going exactly like they want, and you ask them why they not getting in the gym like you think they ought to, you hear, well, I just don't love the game. And I don't think that's right. I think it's you don't love the work that comes into it. I'm reminded of a comment one time that I got from a kid, and I don't think she'll mind me saying her name, Samaru Fields. She was in the gym, and when she was at Gulf Coast, she lived in the gym. I could go in there all hours of the night, and she'd be in the gym getting shots up and doing her little routine. And I said, girl, you always in the gym. She said, well, coach, I can't be upset about the results that I don't get if I don't put in the work. And I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, a lot of kids, we've been talking about that. I was talking to a couple parents about this recently. Now I know I can say this, this is at every level. There are a lot of kids. If there's a roster at Mississippi State, we'll use Mississippi State or Ole Miss, and I'm sure Coach Yo and Coach Sam will probably have tuned in at some point during this show, or somebody, and they'll get this message from, and they can even comment if they like later, and they'll agree with this. Out of 15 players at Mississippi State, or Ole Miss, I pretty much would be willing. I don't bet, but if I were to gamble, there's probably maybe 3 kids on that team that will get in the gym without the coach telling them to get in the gym. Now, all of those kids will get in the gym if the coach makes them, because that's their job. And I love this. There was a video, and I got to find the video, where the guy a coach was talking about, or a motivational speaker was talking about, there's 3 different levels. Are you interested? Are you committed? Or are you obsessed? And a lot of times we have a lot of kids that's just interested in basketball. They like it. They show up. It's basketball. They're going to go through the motion. There are very few people then you got another level that's committed, but there's very few kids that are obsessed with it. They're not like what you're talking about. They're always trying to be in the gym. They're always trying to do stuff to get better. I mean, that's their life. There's just not a lot of kids like that. And let's just be honest about it. Can we be honest? There's not a lot of adults that are obsessed with their job either. A lot of people ain't obsessed. They're interested. They go to work, check in, come in late, just pick up their check. They ain't really committed like that. Anytime they get a chance can we just be honest? We live in a world where everybody's just okay with being average. I'm talking about myself too at times. I talk sometimes, but when we look at the work, because what we've all figured out is how we can do just enough to get by, if we're just real honest about it. You can be just a good enough coach. Think about this. You can be a successful state championship coach, just like Jason Kennedy, and not really be obsessed, because you can be just committed, because you got so many other coaches who are just interested. So you can be just a little bit better, and it'll trick people. And I'm not saying this about Jason, but I'm talking about me. I can give you just enough. I can give you a perfect example. Stephen A. Smith don't have anything on EV. You know what he got on EV though? He gets up at 4, and Steve Harvey, they get up at 4 a.m. and do 12 hours of shows, whereas I come in on a Sunday night and do an hour show. I have just as good a vocabulary, just as good a knowledge, just as good a geek, but I ain't obsessed with it, if we just honest. So I'll talk about me. And that's the world, unfortunately, we live in. Anybody want to add to that?
Nah, you pretty much hit it, Cole. That's some good stuff. You pretty much hit it.
Because that's it. I mean, you know, and so now, to be honest, we're expecting our kids and the generation to kind of do something that, to be honest with you, just not modeled like that. It's not modeled. And our kids are due, like all of us, I think, well, I know myself, Eddie, Jason, Gabe, Court, have kids, and Q. And so our kids model us in some form or fashion. They look at us, they talk like us, they act like us. The good thing about Eddie's beautiful young ladies, they don't have his head. That is beautiful. That's the only thing right there that's powerful. See, that's how God loves Eddie so much that he knew he was going to have some daughters, and he was going to make sure his daughters look like his beautiful wife and not him. See, Eddie, right there, you should lift your hand and say glory.
Yeah, you said something that's true. Thank God they do look like their mom and not me. You're right about that. I'll give you that. But no, man, I just think that like, I'm not trying to dominate the conversation, but I'm passionate about that, you know. And you're right, Evie. In life, us as adults, I'm obsessed with running my youth basketball league.
You are.
And I don't know if there's another youth basketball league in the Southeast region that creates an atmosphere that's got the amount of kids, you know. So when you're doing something, I teach this to my kids. You don't half-ass nothing you do. Just don't do it. You have to be obsessed with it. It's got to be everything to you, and that's the only way you're going to be ultra successful, in my opinion. And for every successful thing that I've done, it's because I got it because of hard work. And so hard work is undefeated. You know what I'm saying? And so, but you got to put in the work. And I think that this generation got way more distractions. I don't know if we grew up in this era, if we would be as committed to it, because they got it too good. I mean, they just have it.
You're right,
privileged.
Eddie. You are right. Let's face it. Let's just be honest. I need to jump in right there. You're exactly right. We have, and the thing is this: we have some of the same distractions. Like right now, think about this. We talk about, you know, Eddie. You are right on. I've said this plenty of times. I don't know if I want to live in this generation. I don't know if I would have wanted to, because they have too much freedom and it's dangerous. Think about it. If we get too much freedom, it's dangerous for us. We're a part of it. Like we talk about sometimes, I don't know, like, you know, back in the day, you know, if you lost the game, the bus ride was completely quiet. Nobody said a word. You know why nobody said a word? There was no cell phones. There was nothing on the thing. All you had to do was be quiet. Because the coach was mad. Everybody was still mad. But let's look at it now. I dropped 2 games this weekend. Long ride home. You think I was quiet the whole time? You think my girls was quiet the whole time? Absolutely not. Why? Man, you can get on TikTok or Instagram in 2 seconds and we all find something that's funny. And we laughing. That's the world that we live in. So
make a good point.
You know,
the attention span short.
It's different.
I think you know. Go ahead, Cord.
No, I'm saying, like, back in the day, you lost a game, that thing go on to the next game. That's all you're thinking about.
That's right.
The attention span, you done move past that. You don't care nothing about that.
That's right.
Hey, can I ask this? And this kind of goes into what y'all are talking about. Is it me, or do y'all find it on average that today, you know, most kids don't even know what their records are?
Oh, I just had a kid that had to look at her schedule to figure out what their record was
It's
today.
unbelievable. They don't know how many points they averaged. They don't know how many points they had. I mean,
They don't know who they playing next.
They don't know their
Exactly.
GPA. I mean, it is unbelievable. That's been going on for a little bit, though, Gabe. I would say that's been going on for the last 5 years. It's gotten worse, but I've been asking that question for a minute.
Wow.
That's a great point. They don't even know. Think about that. They don't know who they're playing next. They haven't looked at the schedule like me and Jason Kennedy and said, "Ooh, this is a potential win. Oh, I don't know about this one. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Oh, we got to play really good." They ain't done nothing like that.
Do kids even care about that now? Do they like care that who they playing against
Can
or
we hold on? Can we get please? I know there's a lot of kids that's watching right now. Can somebody answer that question? We need a kid to answer that because we don't have the answers, honestly. Can
I'm
y'all
gonna say
tell
this. I'm gonna say this. If they watching this show, they know who they playing and they care.
yeah. Because they ain't gonna care unless you mention their name. These kids moving on to the next. They can't stay out here and look at this too long.
That's true.
They can't. So
Yep. Definitely a microwave society, man. Everybody want instant gratification. You know what I was gonna say to people like Hope and some of the college coaches, man, they really have it tough. I mean, even you're a college coach, y'all having to be fathers and mothers, counselors, psych, what do you call it? What do you deal with the what do these kids got it? What do they call it, Gabe?
psychologist.
Yeah, I mean, mental health is so bad nowadays. You know, you gotta manage their personalities. Hell, these kids want to quit basketball every 2 weeks. Like they're in there. They're in the. You have to lift them up. You know, I know I'm not going to mention the kid, but Jason was telling me about a kid used to play for me, and so you're having to always uh, be on a. They're so fragile, man. This is a fragile generation. You know what I mean? They are so fragile, and at the first sign of any type of resistance or anything, if you give them tough love, man, they'll just check out on you mentally. You know, and so. But anyway, it's just one of those things. Like you said, I don't see. To be honest with you, was a bit discouraging to me is when you look down, it's getting worse. I don't see it changing. You know, we want to be optimistic that it's gonna change, but I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel as it pertains to kids who are just things don't go their way. Man, let me go play for another school. This coach yelled at me. Let me go home. I want to go home. Man, I'd be holding my breath as I'm a college coach right now to let any kid go home for 2 weeks. Hell, I don't know if they gonna come back. You know, and so
man.
it's just it's a different day and age, and so
Don't let them
and
don't play over Thanksgiving. Don't play. Don't have a lot of practice on Christmas break. Like they'll go crazy.
Man, I was watching UConn Texas board game today, man. Dan Hurley. I guess he was kind of talking with the commentator. I guess like hey, halftime, he was saying he got to coach with a lot of grace now, man, because the kids they're real fragile. They ain't used to like how they used to be. So yeah.
Kim Fuller she said that comes from the parents, and I agree with you. A lot of it does, trickle down from the parents, and so we have it's exciting times, but it's yet at challenging times because I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater and say they're never going to change because with Christ all things are possible. I think that's when we get to the foundation of it, the root of it. I think in anything that we do, we got to have that foundation. If not, we are gonna continue to struggle because on one hand it is getting, I don't want to use the word worse, although you could argue that, but it is getting more challenging because you're giving them more authority. And we're getting ready to shut it down and close. We've been on because this could turn into what I want to mention could be a whole nother hour show. One of the things that we do is we give our kids too much authority at 17, 18 years old, authority to pick schools, authority if they're going to play, authority if they're going to get out, come outside and do it. They have too much authority. to be children. They're children. I have a 33-year-old daughter who's been married for 7 years. I have a 29-year-old. I have a 33-year-old son and a 16-year-old son. And at the end of the day, they're children, and one of the worst things I think America has done is call kids grown at 18. They ain't grown. What they've done is they just they're 18. And it's one of the most dangerous ages because once they go to college and stuff like that, they get a little freedom. They go crazy. A lot of kids don't really start maturing until around 25, 26, 24, 20, unless they get married or something like that. Like a Gabe, Gabe has been married now for a couple of years. I know he's like in that 25, 26 range, but an 18-year-old and stuff like that, I mean, they're not grown. You ain't grown. I just want y'all to know that y'all ain't grown. Y'all not grown, baby. And even if you want to use that word, it ain't it. Because at the end of the day, ain't none of y'all paying a house payment. Ain't none of y'all paying, water bill. But that's another. I'm gonna jump, as Eddie said, I'm gonna get off that soapbox, and we're gonna just end with our. Yeah.
I wanted to say one thing about that, man, and I see it a lot on my level. I saw the comment where it says it comes from the parents. I'll just tell you this: I don't know why. But I look at 3 kids every day that are in this household with Hope Adams, and man, they are just wonderful kids. And I believe it's due to the fact that she allows them to go through some things. They have to go through some things. They got to grow up because they had to go through some things. Parents nowadays, for whatever reason, they don't want their kids to experience any discomfort.
Ooh,
Man, I swear.
I think we grow through what we go through.
Come on, preacher. Say that again.
Mm-hmm. We grow through what we go through.
We grow through. Let me put that in the comment. That's good. That'll preach.
They just got to go through a little something because I like the idea of going through some things because you're coming out on the other side. And usually when you come out on the other side, you're better off than you were from the beginning, just because you had to experience something. And I hear it a lot with kids that maybe not getting to play as much as what they think they should. And, you see parents wanting to reach out to the coaches and, oh, why is my kid not playing? Man, let them experience some pine time. Let that butt sit on the pine for a little while and experience some discomfort over there. And hopefully it'll make you grow by getting in there and working a little harder in practice. And then you earn your time. Because the way I believe, and as long as I'm coaching this round ball, it's going to be earned, not given.
Well, that's good, man. That's a great way to segue into our last geek of the night, man. I appreciate you guys. We've had, now again, we always welcome if somebody has a last minute comment or a question that they can put in. If they want to, ask, we'll take that. But if not, we still got time. If not, let's go through our last geek of the night, which will. Before I do that, let me just say this. Tomorrow night, we're going to be on at 8 o'clock in the boys. We're going to have our boys edition. Myself, Snacks, Talante Weber, and maybe, a couple of you guys are welcome to come back on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. The boys edition, dealing with just the boys and the Dandy Dozen Snubs. I'm going to try to reach out to 2 young people. They had 2 young men who have scored 60 points in a game. 60. A 9th grader, he scored 60, 6-0, and another kid up north scored 60. And I'm going to try to reach out to their coaches and see if I can get them on tomorrow, because to score 60 points in a 40-minute game is incredible. But to score 60 points in a 32-minute game is off the chain for a high school kid. Shout out to, again, Fred Kelly and Shamar Morton. They have the highest points that I know of this year on the girls' side, scoring 40 points in a game. I don't know if anybody else has had anything higher than that. Those are, the 2 highs. So before we get going, let's have our last geek of the night. You got a minute to do it. We'll start with you, Coach Kennedy. Anything that you want to shout out about your team, your mother, your whoever, your wife, whoever you want to talk about. It's your turn.
Man, I want to shout you guys out, man. I thank you for what you do for the state, for our young ladies. It means a lot, man, to showcase them and, kind of get them out there. And I enjoyed getting on here and speaking with you guys tonight. But I want to remember, and we grow through what we go through. Let them kids experience a little bit of pain, a little bit of go through something so that they can come out on the other side. Please, please, for us coaches. Thank y'all for having me, Evie.
Man, thank you for having on. You can come on anytime, Coach. We love it. I love it, man. I'm gonna take that and with and run with that. Grow through what you go through.
I got to do this one more time, Evie. I got to do this one more time. Ready? Hey.
Hey, who is that? I mean, what school is that? Who wants to come to the coast?
Come to the coast.
All right, my guy Martin, what's up? Talk to us. Last week tonight.
Well, like Coach said, man, I want to shout out you guys out, man. Good, coming over here, all these basketball, man. We get to pick each other brain for, hour and a half or whatnot, man. That's fun. And EB, we got to get a set date, man. Everybody in the GTA be asking me when we having the show. I be having to, to run around. We got to come up with a set date, man, throughout the week. But other than that, man, it's cool. I love being over here with you guys, man.
Well, I'm trying to get y'all to, got you. Well, I ain't gonna put y'all out there like that because I'm trying to, I'm working with y'all to just take over, when I ain't around. But we appreciate it. We're gonna get that set date. We got some special things coming up. I'm just excited about, coming up real soon. Gabe, the coach, baby, the coach guy, Gabe Barber in the building. One of the best recruiters in the country.
Not me. No, not me. No, I definitely want to shout out my little sister, Sydney, for her accomplishment. All-time leading scorer, West Harrison. Definitely big accomplishment. I know I give her a lot of trouble, but definitely proud of her. Secondly, again, I did want to make mention, any kids that want to get whatever shot they want, holla at EV. Last but not least, we all win when we all in, baby.
We all win when we all in. My guy, I got to jump in here. My guy, Clint Pleasant, is in the building. Dr. Clint Pleasant, Vice President of Rochester University, is in the building on the comments. Clint and I go way back. I played for his dad, the legendary Garth Pleasant, won a national championship with him. Me and Clint's claim to fame is Clint's a white guy, Jason, little white young guy. Clint's probably in his 40s somewhere. Dr. Pleasant now, Dr. Clint. But our claim to fame with Clint was when Clint was a kid, I took him to Detroit, a show in Detroit. He went to the Fat Boys Run DMC concert. And his dad wanted me to take him to it. And I took it to it. Clint loved the little rap game. And there was what was going on. This is crazy. We go to the concert and all like that. And so there was a fight broke out, like in the hallway. And Clint wanted to stop and watch. I grabbed Clint and said, man, you better get out of here. We ain't gonna get it we can't watch this. You better come on. And so my guy, Clint Pleasant, in the building. Cordarius Jones.
Well, I ain't really got no geek. Just hashtag just do it. That's it.
Hashtag just do it. Cord is real cocky and confident right now, y'all. Just do it. Got that Nike sign behind it right now. He feel really froggy.
Anybody give me them new Jordan 11s, man? Holler at me.
Jordan 11s. Easy one.
Hey, shout out to Mississippi All In. And just congrats to everybody a part of this program. Picking up the junior EYBL. We just made that announcement the other day is a really big thing. Just want to give a shout out to all the young ladies that made the Dandy Dozen. Again, we hoping that you guys have a successful season. For the ladies who just missed, or for the ladies who are future Dandy Dozens, continue to work on your game, hone your craft, keep God first. Uh, and so for everybody on the panel, man, I appreciate you guys having us. Us meeting up once a week or once every other week or whenever EV can get his stuff together. Um, just excited about the upcoming holidays, and I'm praying that God's grace and God's speed on each and every one of you guys and everyone who's a part of this show, and just God grace and mercy over everybody. I know we come on here, we talk a lot of junk, we enjoy sports, and sports is a great parallel to life because it brings all different types of people together. But at the end of the day, life is short. Try to love on these kids. They need us more now than they ever need us. Try to say some encouraging words and be positive influence in some of these young ladies' lives and young men's lives when you can. That's my final geek, my brother.
Well, again, I appreciate everybody coming on the show. Appreciate all the listeners, and we are gonna, I hear you, Gino, and I hear the GTA. We are gonna do a better job of getting the timing down pat so people can look, get a chance to look forward to it. We want to, if you would like to come on the show, a coach, a player, a parent, please reach out to me. If you want a certain topic to be talked about, please reach out to me and, check out my, we'll talk about it. Check out my guy, C. Jones Ball and Business on Facebook. I'm trying to get him, educated on how we can, do it a little like work with him, but he'll get it eventually, so he can get his stuff down loaded. Corey does a great job, on his show. And like I said, we're bringing this on all platforms. Anybody out there have any suggestions how to make the show better, feel free to do that too, because what we want to do is, this is about unity. This is about, we're here in Mississippi. We're about, it's for everybody. This is, if you are a young lady or a young man talking hoops in the SIP, this is the SIP. There's no hate. It's all love. At the end of the day, it's open. It's open. We want to do what's best for the young people. That's what it's all about. That's what Mississippi All In is about. Just think of the name. It's all in. We all win when we all in. Do we have all of the answers? No. But at the end of the day, when it comes to grassroots basketball, and it's amazing to me that in every other profession in life, you have what you call professionals. You have experts. You have people who have been a doctor. A person doesn't just become a doctor by sleeping in a Holiday Inn. I know it's a catchy commercial. And you say, oh, I slept in a Holiday Inn. And that's kind of how we're doing things on this basketball and grassroots level. Work with people who this is what they do. And if we would all do that as a people, I can't do the things that all the things that Jason Kennedy do. What I need to do is, when Jason Kennedy is good at something, I need to see how can I help Jason Kennedy be better at what he does already really well. Not try to take over and say, oh, I can do this better than Jason because I'm on out. No, I can't do what Jason Kennedy do because I'm not Jason. And so those are little things like that. I wish we would just, as a people, would just come together. And I'm always say, because, I am the church, let's develop a kingdom mentality versus an empire mentality. Let's be kingdom. We can all work together. And it's truly a good statement, not only for the Mississippi All In. We all win when we all in. That's for all of us. It's an eats mentality. Everybody achieves together successfully. So for Quincy Harris, Martin Sherrod, Eddie Young, Gabe Barber, Kadarius Jones, Jason Kennedy, and I am EV the Geeker saying good night, good evening, and we love you, and have a great rest of your day.